Welcome back to the Blue Suit, where we provide useful information for your career journey. My name is Denise McNeil, and I'm happy to be sharing some of my career experiences with you. Today, I'm presenting patient intake from the Medical Office video series on how to facilitate the patient intake process for a mental health clinic. Intake specialist. An intake specialist, also known as a medical office assistant, work in the medical field to help direct people to the services they need. Intake specialists are used in many different areas such as hospitals, mental health facilities, crisis centers, nursing homes, and more. Intake specialists talk directly with patients and their families, determining their needs, their medical history, physical and mental state, and special requirements. Understanding these needs helps the intake specialist determine what services the facility needs to provide and guides patients to the right areas. The patient intake process will vary from business to business. In many cases, this is the patient's first contact with your company, but their first impression is often from their insurance company who referred them to you or from your company's website. Keep in mind that their initial impressions may not always be good. You cannot control how other entities provide their customer service, but you can control how you do it. Therefore, this is your opportunity to wow the patient and to begin to build a lasting relationship, resulting in a happy customer, more revenue for your company, and a good mark on your record. Let's discuss some of the skills that you should master to facilitate the patient intake process effectively. Skills. The following are a list of skills that you should master if you want to be an effective intake specialist: communication skills, writing skills, computer skills, organization, critical thinking skills, attention to detail, compassion, and patience. Skill details. This is a list of the details, the skills that I just mentioned, and more details of those skills that are required to really do a good job as a intake specialist. For example, and without reading all of the headers and the bullet points, I'll give you a couple examples that are extremely important for this role. I did specifically add bullet points specifically for the role. Um, and they're not just thrown in here to fill the blanks. These are very specific to the role. So you want to take some time when you can print this page and print them out and make sure that you are proficient in all of these areas, such as in communication skills. You need to be a good listener. You have to be able to listen to what the client is saying to you regarding their needs. You need to have some energy so that people are calling in for medical appointments. Some of them are routine appointments, and some of them are very important appointments, and some of those appointments are very private. They want to know that the person that they're speaking with knows what they're doing and feels comfortable with their job. And even if you don't know what you're doing, if you have good energy and you can get help, it makes them feel good on the other end of the line that you're going to take care of them. Proficient in writing skills. You need to be really good at sending and responding professionally to emails in a timely manner, because you're going to be responsible for sending out welcome letters or welcome packets and so forth. And because you're dealing in the medical field, again, we're back at the situation where it may be urgent to the client, but it may not seem like it's urgent to you because it's not an emergency to you, or it may not seem like it's an emergency, but to them it is. So we want to make sure that we're responding to messages professionally in a timely manner. I won't go ahead and read all of the other skills that are here because there's too many on this list. But like I said, take some time and look at these and make sure that you can do all of the things that are in here. And if not, figure out a way to improve and increase those skills. And I may be able to help you to do that. Just let me know and I'll let you know if I can help you. This is a sample intake process. This actual process is a sample of what a real mental health clinic in Washington, D.C. And I didn't list every single step I listed all the steps, but I didn't list the detail of the steps in this graphic because obviously there's not enough space on here to do that. And it wouldn't matter unless you work for this company if I listed every single step because it may not apply to where you work. But this is a real sample intake process, and it'll give you an example of the pieces to the puzzle and why they work well together. So the patient calls to schedule for an appointment for the service. You listen to the patient's needs, and then you confirm that your company is in the patient's insurance network before gathering demographic information. You collect the patient's demographic and insurance information and enter it into the bucket, i.e. a paper intake form or electronic database. But before you do that, I want to point out that it's important to know what insurance the person has. If their insurance is not in the network, you don't want to start gathering demographic information because that's a waste of time. After you've asked them all those questions and you've done that, and the phone may be ringing, and the client is excited, thinking that they finally found the doctor to help them with their problems, and then you don't even take their insurance. But it's okay that sometimes clients may pay, they may be a self-pay client where they actually pay out of pocket, and that's okay, but you want to find that out before you get into collecting the demographic information. Once you've confirmed that we do take their insurance, you go ahead and collect the demographic information and you enter it into the proper bucket. And if it's a paper form, it might be an electronic database or so forth. Following your company's procedures, you then find out what date and time works best for the patient. You always want to ask the patient what works best for them. Even though you may not have the availability now, it could become a routine appointment, and then you can book them out. You can recommend to them, and this is one way that you can generate revenue for the business, and it helps the client as well. So you don't have to feel bad about upselling, but you may not have the time and date that the client is looking for now, so they may have to take a date and time that doesn't work the best for them, but they need to get squeezed into an appointment. But you can book them further out for the dates and time that work best for them, because usually when a client has a specific date and time that work best for them, they will more than likely come to their appointment and not cancel on you at the last minute or just not do a no-show because it just doesn't fit their schedules. Once you've done that, you can create a tentative appointment, and then you get off the phone with the client and you schedule the tentative appointment, and the client goes on their way, and then you verify the patient's insurance. So you can do that. This is one way that this clinic does it, because you go ahead and verify the patient's insurance, and if the insurance is okay, there's no need to contact the client again to say, hey, your insurance is okay. You know that you're in the network, you schedule the tentative appointment, and you verify the patient's insurance right away. Obviously, if the patient's insurance if the service is not covered with the patient's insurance, then of course you can't schedule the appointment. So 9 times out of 10, it probably is covered, or they wouldn't be calling you in the first place. And this way, after you verified the insurance, then you move on to some sort of email, text, or call. You can call them back, or you can deliver a welcome, depending on their preference, and you can deliver a welcome packet and attach any necessary forms or links that you want the patient to review or complete before their first visit. And then moving on, following your company's procedures, you create or assemble the patient's record or whatever forms that are necessary, and you get it all in preparation for their next visit. And once you've done that, you can file the chart. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please click that like button below, and if you do not feel that you enjoyed the video, please feel free to tell me how we can improve. And for additional information, you can email me at denise.g.mcneil@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.